This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters award-winning YCN Football Game of the Week. Today we are in Woodstock, Vermont, as the Wasps host their rivals, the Yellow Jackets of Windsor. The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist for the most complete line of energy products. And enjoy a level of superior customer and on-site service. La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion in 10 locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. My TV every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI. Watch their new season with Law & Order Criminal Intent, Chicago PD, Dateline, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more. Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort. They say we are familiar, we are warm, and we are fun. We are Sunapee. Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. And by M.J. Harrington & Company, jewelers and designers since 1948, committed to crafting the finest quality jewelry for our customers.
Good evening and welcome to Woodstock, Vermont for tonight's high school football game between the Windsor Yellow Jackets and the Woodstock Wasps. Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Stout. I'll be joined shortly by my broadcast partner Andrew Zerhide, and a game that is always held at the end of the regular season. These teams know each other very well. Last year down in Windsor, the Windsor squad winning in overtime and then completing the undefeated series and the undefeated season in the championship with an overtime win. And for Woodstock this year, they're going for the undefeated season. And Andrew, as we look ahead to this game, usually a rivalry game, like I said, Windsor undefeated last year, Woodstock going for it this year. What should we expect from Windsor tonight?
Yeah, so for the Yellow Jackets, we're going to be keeping an eye on a couple of seniors, their quarterback Rylan Richardson and their running back Robert Slocum. These two upperclassmen have a ton of experience from their past two championship teams. Look for Windsor to be running the ball a lot, but Rylan has a good arm. He could be throwing the ball, so you got to be aware if you're the Woodstock defense.
All right, and for Woodstock, obviously, as I mentioned, losing in overtime in the regular season and then again in the championship, but they're looking to finish their season undefeated tonight. What should we watch for from them?
Yeah, so their big running back, number 45, Caden White, he's a senior. He's going to be picking up a ton of yards on the ground. And their quarterback, another upperclassman, Trevor White, he's going to be throwing the ball to the sidelines. I really expect Woodstock's offense to be rolling here. They're going to score a ton of points. It's going to be tough for Windsor to stop them.
All right, it's the Yellow Jackets and the Wasps. Coming up next, the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week, and welcome to our Facebook Live audience. Windsor Yellow Jackets coming into this one with a 4-3 record, and the Woodstock Wasps 7-0, looking to complete the undefeated season. And as we mentioned in the pregame, both of these teams very familiar with each other, especially after last year where they played their traditional end of the regular season game against each other and then met in the championship with Windsor winning that one 13-7 in overtime. So we'll see what transpires here as Woodstock will kick off first. And Windsor to receive it at the 10-yard line where it will be returned. And the ball carrier is tackled. That was number 30, Robert Slocum, taking that one back, and he will get it back to just shy of the 20-yard line. And that's where 17-yard line. And that's where Windsor will start their first drive.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, serving brick oven pizza and much more.
So quarterback number 8, Rylan Richardson. He will be under center. Slocum will be behind him. Single backfield. Excuse me, there is another running back up front. That handoff goes to Richardson, and he jukes one man and then cuts back to the middle before he's tackled, and he picks up a handful of yards. Ball spotted at the 24-yard line, so a good 7-yard pickup, second down.
Well, Windsor lost a ton of key seniors from last year's championship team. They've been trying to kind of fill that void now. They had a 2+ season undefeated streak, and that came to an end this year. But Rylan Richardson there with the carry. He was a key component of last year's championship team. So these guys do have experience.
Caleb Meager, number 34, also in the backfield. And that one does go to Meager as he cuts to the left side, and he is tackled by a trio of defenders. Not much of a gain, and that'll bring up third down.
The YCN scoreboard sponsor is LaValle and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion.
So that'll bring up third down and about 5 to go on senior night here in Woodstock. The regular season finale, alternating years, like we said last year, down in Windsor. Windsor winning that one in overtime. Woodstock looking to return that one and get the win tonight. As off tackle there, Slocum cuts to the outside, and he's tackled for a loss of yards. That's going to go back almost all the way back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up fourth down and long, and the punt team coming out for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, Woodstock's offense is very strong, but their defense coming up big there. They've only allowed 55 points on the season so far, so they've been very tough. The most they've allowed is 16 points, and that was in a blowout win against Missisquoi Valley. So their defense just as strong as their offense.
So the punt is away. It looks like it might have been tipped, and then running up to catch it is number 11, Schlabach. And Micah Schlabach is tackled after a nice return, and Woodstock will take over for their first possession. We'll step aside. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Windsor going 3-0 with their first possession and punting to Woodstock. 9:41 to play here in the first quarter. Woodstock taking over now, and the first play handoff to the running back number 5, and that is Ben Marsicovateri. And he'll get about 3 yards for second down and 7. Great field position for this Woodstock squad, and that was a kind of a dangerous move by Schlabach. He saw the punt was short, and he ran full speed ahead, caught it, and kept running.
Yeah, and he almost had the edge on the right side, but he was brought down. Not a deep punt. Wasps, great field position early.
And the handoff again goes up the middle and breaks a few tackles, and he's still on his feet, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Woodstock.
Number 5, Ben Marsicovateri, the senior running back. Nice job by him, a quick score. This offense, they've been rolling all season, starting off this game strong.
And now Woodstock will set up in a little different formation, see if they can catch Windsor guessing or jumping off sides or just in the wrong formation, and then they'll go back to the extra point formation, but before that we have a stoppage. I'm not sure what this one is. Refs looks like they're moving the ball. Maybe it was a infraction against Windsor, as the ref is moving the ball a little bit closer, so you wonder if Woodstock maybe go for 2 here. Now with that extra half the distance of the goal.
Yeah, Woodstock's been doing this kind of thing on their extra points. They did it against Poultney a ton here. They like to keep the defense guessing.
And Trevor White under center. They will go for 2. The handoff to the big fullback, number 45, Caden White. The senior barrels into the end zone and adds the 2-point conversion to make it 8-0 Woodstock. And Andrew, you talked about it at the beginning, a good offense for this Woodstock team. It didn't take them long, only a few plays, and then Marco Viteri busts free for a 30-plus yard touchdown run to open the scoring.
Yeah, it really only took them just, like you said, 3+ plays. Ben Marskovatiri, an elusive back, and really their big guy is number 45, Caden White, who scored that 2-point conversion, but Ben Marskovatiri, more of an elusive speed kind of back. They have a number of weapons on this Woodstock team, and they're using them all right now. Early 8-0 lead, that just felt so easy for the Wasps.
So Woodstock will kick off. Windsor will get their second possession. See if they can do something with it. Last time going 3 and out, back to receive the kick. Number 30, Robert Slocum. Jackson Davis to his right, a little bit closer to the kickoff, and Caleb Meager also a little closer to the kickoff. He's on the left side. So Woodstock kicking it away. Number 12, Jed Asbury. He will be kicking and trying to pin the Wasps deep. Kicking from the 40-yard line, it's away, and this one will be Meager from the 15-yard line. Nice job there, avoiding some tackles, and Yellow Jackets will start with the possession. A nice return there and past their own 30-yard line.
Next week, YCN Game of the Week will be traveling to Hanover, New Hampshire, as the Marauders host the undefeated Bobcats of Plymouth. This game will premiere next Saturday night at 7 p.m. on WYCU and WYCI, and at 5 p.m. on WYCX. That should be a good one.
That'll be a great game across the river into New Hampshire after back-to-back games in Vermont. Last week, a good one, Middlebury getting the victory. And Windsor now under center for the first down, and the handoff again to Slocum. He cuts to the outside, gets to the edge, and picks up a handful of yards. So a nice run there, and Windsor picking up 5. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
Tune in every Saturday at 9 p.m. for YCN Sports Wrap, taking a look at local high school sports in our area, followed by Sports Talk, talking about our region's pro teams with the Salt Hill Pub NFL Picks of the Week.
So 2nd down and 5. Windsor going 3 and out on their first possession. Woodstock responding with a touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and Windsor now trying to get their offense moving. Richardson under center, and his handoff straight up the middle. Slocum gets enough, and he picks up the first down for the Yellow Jackets. And they'll spot the ball just across the 40-yard line at the 42, where it will be 1st down and 10. So obviously both these teams content to keep it on the ground, as we see a lot in high school football. And Andrew, we do see some passing usually later on in the game once these teams kind of feel each other out, and we saw it last week, and I'm sure we'll see it tonight. But both these teams really run their offense on the ground.
Yeah, they really do. Definitely running style teams. They have quarterbacks who can throw the ball, but you're not going to see that much. Their running backs are just too skilled.
So we got a false start on the Yellow Jackets. That'll bump them back 5 yards, bring up 1st down and 15. Richardson under center. He's got Slocum and Meager in the offset eye. And the handoff here goes to Meager.
Oh.
And the ball's loose. I don't know if he was down or momentum stopped.
Kind of seemed like he was down, but.
And the ref is coming in saying he is down, 2nd down. So picks up maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd down and long. So Meager there setting up in the offset eye to the right, cuts across the field going on the left side. Fumbling the ball, but he was already down. That'll be 2nd down and about 14. Again in the formation, Richardson under center. This time he'll keep it, and he throws it to an open receiver who catches it, but then it's dropped. We'll see what the call is, and I believe they'll call it incomplete.
Yep.
That was number 25, Dakota Sanderson.
Yeah, Sanderson couldn't reel it in, was tackled, but it was a pretty good pass by Richardson there.
Yeah, that setup, it looked like it was a nice throw. The receiver, Sanderson, was wide open and thought he was going to be able to come down with it, but just as he turned, he was tackled and lost the ball. So it was one of those plays where the receiver hadn't really established his position with the football. So incomplete, 3rd down and 14 coming up here for the Yellow Jackets.
YCN is affiliated with the Heroes and Icons Network on WYCI and WYCU. Watch our new programs every weekday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and MyTV on WYCI from 8 to 10 p.m.
Yellow Jackets coming into this one fighting for a playoff spot, still alive. This is the final game of the season, a far cry from last year's 9-0 record, number 1 seed, but they did graduate a handful of players, quite a number of players.
Yeah.
So they're trying to rebuild their program and see if they can get a big win on the road tonight. Richardson under center. He's going to pass again. Just a little screen pass to Slocum. He picks up maybe half a dozen yards, and he gets back across the original line of scrimmage, but not quite enough. It looks like it's still going to be 4th and long, maybe 4th and 8, and not quite at midfield. I would think if you're Coach Balch, you'd want to punt it away here, especially as potent as this Woodstock offense is. Don't want to give them a short field. Yeah,
it kind of feels like Woodstock's going to score regardless of where they are in the field, but midfield right here, not even at the 50, you got to punt this one away. Try to make the Wasps work.
And the punt is away. This one's off the right side. A couple bounces, it goes out of bounds, and Woodstock will take over at their own 30-yard line. We'll take a break. Inside 6 minutes, you're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Halfway through quarter number 1, Woodstock leading Windsor 8-0. Man goes in motion, and the handoff to the running back, that is the fullback, number 45, White, who converted the 2-point conversion earlier. And a good 5 yards picked up there, maybe 6, as they mark it at the 36-yard line. Bring up 2nd down and 4.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local event televised into YCN's nearly 300,000 TV households, contact us at info@ycnnow.com.
White under center. He hands it off to number 11, Schlabach, and he has a big hole off the left tackle and a big gain all the way down to the Windsor 40-yard line. It just depends where they spot it, the 44-yard line. And a big gain there. So once again, this Woodstock offense, they're continuing to roll.
Yeah, they have just so many backs who can run with the ball. Ben Marskova-Thierry, Micah Schlabach, Jed Astbury, and of course, you have Caden White, the big fullback. A lot of options.
We haven't even seen the arm of Trevor White yet, because they do keep it on the ground quite a bit as they go with the quick handoff up the middle, again to White. He picks up half the yardage to a 1st down, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5, maybe 6 yards, as they spot it at the 41-yard line, having to get to the 35. So we'll be 2nd down and 6. Clock moving here in the first quarter. This rivalry game, we talked about Windsor with a 4-3 record off of an undefeated season, and also this Woodstock Wasps team. They were the number 2 seed, only because they lost to Windsor in that final regular season game. This time White's going to keep it, and he completes the pass. Nice pass to Marskova-Thierry. He sheds one tackler, and he's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. 41-yard touchdown reception. And just as we spoke about Trevor White's arm, He dumps off the screen pass, and Marcikovatieri gets the big touchdown, putting the Wasps up 14-0, and the extra point pending right here.
Yeah, and you got some good blocking there. Ben Marcikovatieri had a lane, stayed in bounds, ran it in, made it look easy. The Wasps' offense just cannot be stopped.
So Windsor doesn't fall for the alignment, and Woodstock will just go to the extra point attempt here. Ball down, kick is up, and the kick is good. Woodstock adds to their lead. They go up 15-0. First quarter of action on the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, Woodstock on top of Windsor. 15-0. After two nice touchdowns from the Wasps. The 30-yard touchdown run from Marcikovatieri and the 40-yard touchdown pass. It was a screen pass from White on his first pass of the day, and that put him up 14-0. And then the extra point, and an onside kick coming here, and it looks like Woodstock may have recovered it.
Wow.
And that kick couldn't have been more perfect, catching the Yellow Jackets off guard. And the refs will talk and see if it did go 10 yards, and it clearly did because it's picked up on the other side of the 50. They're just making sure no one touched it before it went to 50 yards, or went to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 12, Jed Astbury there, recovering that ball. He did a good job kind of shielding the ball, waiting for it to cross over the 50-yard line to get 10 yards. The second it went over the line, he was all over it. And he beat a couple Windsor guys trying to get to the ball as well. So Woodstock, man, putting up 15 points already. The onside kick recovery, dominating this game so far.
Well, and that's the other thing about that onside kick. It can't just be a good kick. You have to have the rest of the team in place to kind of block or shield the receiving team. And that time they did their job, and Woodstock will take over after a brief discussion from the refs at the 49-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. And under center is White. He'll keep it himself, and the pass, nice little screen flip pass out to number 11, Schlabach. Not quite a screen pass, a little dump off about 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and then picks up more yardage and another first down for Woodstock.
Nice throw and catch there. Schlabach had to turn around, ball was thrown right over the top of him, so he had to turn his body, but made the catch, picked up the first down. Woodstock just cannot be stopped right now.
So first down and 10. Woodstock scoring 2 touchdowns on their 2 possessions, and Windsor 2 punts. As we move along here in the first quarter. This time the pitch goes to White. He's going to try and get to the corner. He does get to the corner and barrels over the defender. And that was the running back who also plays defense, Caleb Meager, number 34, who just got truck stick. And the big gain from Woodstock looked like about maybe they got just enough, and they did, so that'll be first down and 10.
Caden White was not going to be denied the first down there. No one was going to stop him. All of his momentum going forward. What a big hit there by White.
And that's the thing, White has the size, but he can also get to the corner, and he's got that speed, and you want to be careful when you're in his path. Man in motion, and White hands it off. That one to Astbury. Gets off right tackle, gets a couple of yards. That'll bring up second down, and this Woodstock team continuing to move the ball forward. As we're inside 2.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter, 15-0 our score. Andrew, you got to imagine Woodstock's going to keep it on the ground. They've had a lot of success.
Right.
If they do throw it, it's going to be those small screen pass or dump-off passes.
Yeah, they don't need to, go for anything deep here. Just keep it on the ground. Nice, simple plays. Keep the clock moving.
White with a handoff again goes to Caleb White, Caden White, and that one's tackled before any gain, and that'll bring up third down, and we'll see what the Wasps come up with on this third down if they do air it out. 3rd and 8 yards to go, maybe 3rd and 9.
In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games and programs are posted for your viewing pleasure anytime at ycnnow.com. And you can also click on schedules and replay times.
It looks like there is a flag on the play. Came out pretty well after the play was over, so I'm not sure what the call was. They have the sticks at 3rd and 10, so I don't know if that was before the play. It was an illegal shift on the offense. They're going to decline the penalty after the stop, so it'll be 3rd down and 10, and see if Woodstock will air the ball out. Clock begins to move. It's been all Woodstock in this first quarter. 2 touchdowns, Windsor with 2 punts. Then the onside kick, and this is Woodstock's 3rd drive as they look to complete an undefeated season, coming into this one 7-0. Last week, a forfeiture win over Mount St. Joseph, and here's the pitch outside to the left to Schlabach, and he gets it around the corner, picks up a handful of yards, but it's not going to be enough for the first down, so that'll bring up 4th down and short, and I would imagine Coach Worrell will be going for it here on 4th and short. 4th and 5 is where they'll spot it. Chains on the far side of the field. See what they do here. Long field goal. You're up 15-0. Your offense has really moved the ball. They're going to line up as they normally do, with White under center. Caden White, the lone man in the backfield. Man in motion, and the handoff goes to the motion man, which is Marco Viteri, and he's off the right side. 1 man to beat, and he reaches the ball over the pylon. No signal yet. And it's a touchdown. Wow. So it looked like a 25-yard touchdown run on 4th and 5. Marco Viteri goes in motion, takes the handoff. Big jet sweep along the right side and just dives into the end zone. Ball falls into the end zone over the pylon. And after a brief discussion, referees say touchdown. It's 21-0. And once again, Windsor doesn't fall for the trick formation, and the extra point will be coming up here. Ball down, kick is up. And it's no good, so missed extra point there. Keeps the score at 21-0. Woodstock leading Windsor. YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zurhai. 21-0 our score. Woodstock leading Windsor in the final game of the regular season. A touchdown there from the Wasps. That time the big run. Marco Viteri. Jet sweep, gets it to the end zone, dives over the line for the touchdown and the missed extra point. 21-0, and another onside kick, but this one's popped up, and then it's fumbled by the return man. I don't know. I think he held on to it, though.
I think that's Wyatt Bean, number 60. Was able to reel that one in for Windsor. Nice play by him. Almost fumbled it. And you can kind of tell that was going to happen. The Woodstock kicker did not line up deep. He was ready to just kind of punt it up there.
And he was taking a little extra time. I watched him placing the tee and getting things set up, and it seemed, the ref was watching him, and he was making sure he wasn't putting it over the 40-yard line, but he was placing it just a little bit, and you're right, it did look a little strange what he was doing, but this time they don't catch the Yellow Jackets sleeping. So after the onside kick, Windsor will set up at the 45-yard line. Richardson under center, the handoff to Meager, and he is hit immediately in the backfield, and that's going to be at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd down and 10.
That was number 76, Gabe Marsicovatiri, Ben's brother, also a senior. Gabe is one of the stars of the Woodstock basketball team as well. What a big hit by him. He's a big guy on that line. Number 76, really a big part of this Woodstock defense.
So they'll bring up 2nd down and long, not quite 9 yards. They have to get to the other 45-yard line for a 1st down. They're currently at the 45.5-yard line of their own side of the field, and that is going to do it for the first quarter of action with the Woodstock Wasps leading the Windsor Yellow Jackets 21-0. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist for the most complete line of energy products. And enjoy a level of superior customer and on-site service. La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion in 10 locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. My TV every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI. Watch their new season with Law & Order Criminal Intent, Chicago PD, Dateline, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more. Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort. They say we are familiar, we are warm, and we are fun. We are Sunapee. Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. And by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948, committed to crafting the finest quality jewelry for our customers.
Welcome back. 2nd quarter about to get underway here in Woodstock, Vermont, where the Wasps lead the Yellow Jackets 21-0. And Andrew, that first quarter, obviously all Woodstock with the score, but even the score doesn't begin to tell the story. The Wasps with 2 punts on their only 2 possessions.
Yeah, Windsor, really their offense hasn't been doing much tonight. Woodstock's defense has been so strong. And the Wasps' offense, Ben Marsicovatiri with 3 touchdowns already.
So with the ball just across the 45-yard line, Windsor will set up on 2nd and long, and then immediately tackled in the backfield is Slocum, and that'll drive him back even more, and it'll be 3rd and long.
It's number 55, Alden Shoemaker there, the center, and the tackle, defensive tackle from Woodstock, the junior. Good job by Shoemaker. Woodstock has a lot of big guys up there on that line. They are tough to score against. They've only allowed 8 touchdowns on the season.
So that one stopped where the forward progress was. That'll bring up 3rd down and 11. Richardson under center, Meager in motion, the fake handoff, and then it goes to Slocum, who cuts it off the left side. He gets all the yardage back and more, picking up the 1st down. Nice run by Slocum, and really the best play we've seen from this Yellow Jackets offense so far tonight.
Yeah, nice job by Robbie Slocum there. Slocum and Richardson, they've had to fill big voids left by last year's class. 4-3 records so far. They've done a good job, but it was going to be tough to match the last 2 seasons for Windsor. They had an undefeated streak come to an end. But guys like Richardson, Slocum, Harriman, Gaudette, Sanderson, Bean, Meager, trying to hold it down, keep this program afloat.
Yeah, they've had some good success over the last few years, obviously with the football team, basketball team, even the baseball team. So that big class leaving and hoping the underclassmen can step up here as we see Richardson keeping it on the fake handoff. He'll gain about 4 yards, and that'll be 2nd down, 5 or 6.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more.
2nd down and 5, and now Windsor starting to show some life on the offensive side of the football. The first 2 drives resulting in punts. And now moving the chains nicely after recovering the onside attempt at the 40-yard line. Moved it across midfield to the Woodstock 40-yard line. This handoff goes to Meager. He's bottled up, and he'll be pushed back. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 3rd down and about 5.
It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Third down and 5. Windsor picking up a couple first downs on this drive. Looking to get another one here. Down 21-0. Need to put some points on the board. Richardson under center. Fake handoff to Slocum. And then the pass to an open receiver. Tipped it with one hand, and he came up with it. And they're going to say complete pass as he was falling out of bounds. That was Sanderson, and a great catch.
Dakota Sanderson. Athletic effort, but broken up by number 5, Ben Marsakovateri. The 4th down and
they're going to say it was incomplete. Okay. It looked like it was caught. Maybe he fell out of bounds. You couldn't really see from our vantage point on the other side of the field. It looked like it would have been one heck of a catch if he came up with it. Tipping the ball to himself and almost coming down with it. So that'll bring up 4th down and 5, and if you're in the position that you are of the Yellow Jackets, down 3 scores, you really need to go for it here. But before we do that, we will have a timeout. So Woodstock leading this one 21-0. 9:05 to play here in the 2nd quarter. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 9:05 to play here before halftime with the Wasps leading 21-0. And the Windsor Yellow Jackets facing 4th down and 5. Richardson's going to air it out. He's going deep, and that's going to fall incomplete as the defender almost had the interception there.
Yeah, Ben Marsakovateri almost intercepted that one, but Dakota Sanderson was there. I don't think there was any interference. I think Sanderson kind of had to play defense there, but nice job by Woodstock, and that ball was kind of floating in the air for a while. Windsor lucky that wasn't picked off.
Yeah, had the man open down the field, and he had a guy underneath, but he just threw it in between both of them, so that play just a little bit too long down the field, so that'll be Woodstock football. 1st down and 10 at their own 39-yard line. See what the Woodstock offense can come up with now in the 2nd quarter, scoring all 3 touchdowns in the 1st quarter. First pass is deep, and it is intercepted by Meager, who has a clean interception at his own 30-yard line. That ball not even close to a wide receiver. And Meager kind of had a center field position there, just watched it come down, and easy interception.
Yeah, easy play for the junior, Caleb Meager, number 34. Ball kind of hung up there for a while, pass from Trevor White. So the turnover by Windsor. Let's see if they can capitalize here. They're still, not good field position right now, but let's see if they can get some momentum on the turnover. Try to put some points up on the board.
Yeah, they've still got 70 yards to go to get in the end zone. 1st down and 10 from their own 30-yard line. And Richardson, he'll be under center. And in motion, the handoff to Slocum. Breaking free, and he's got some daylight. Can he beat a couple of defenders? Trying to make a move on the sidelines, and then he's pulled down, and that's going to be a horse collar penalty after the big gain. They're going to tack 15 more yards onto that one. And that's a big gainer for the Yellow Jackets.
Nice run by Slocum. He had some blocks, and I think Windsor, they really sold that well. I think some defenders on Woodstock thought the ball was somewhere else. And it kind of looked like Slocum was maybe going to go down, but then he bursted forward, picked up a huge gain, and of course that horse collar tackle moved them even farther down the field, so the Yellow Jackets starting to show some life.
And then Slocum was running up the sideline. They had the defender, Jed Asbury, was right there, almost step for step with him, just couldn't catch him. And so Slocum was kind of trying to deke him and trying to fake him out, and obviously did for a little while, but Asbury just pulled him down, and penalty flag flew immediately. That was an easy call. It'll be first down and 10 from what appears to be maybe the 12-yard line. He'll give it to Slocum again. This time he bounces off one would-be tackler and bounces to the outside, but he's wrapped up there by Charlie Amato and maybe gains a couple of yards. Second down and 8. And if you are the Yellow Jackets, must score here.
Yeah,
cut into this lead.
Right, you definitely got to put up some points before halftime. 8 minutes to go here. But still, Windsor trying to score. Just the 9th touchdown allowed by Woodstock. And we were here for the Poultney-Woodstock game. Poultney, their only touchdown in that first half, their only true touchdown was off of a fumble recovery. So Woodstock's opponent scoring only really off of turnovers.
And Woodstock, that last home game was against Poultney, the 50-13 victory. And this one will be kept by Richardson, and he doesn't fake anybody out as he's tackled by a pair of defenders.
Richardson on the keep.
That'll bring up third down and long as he knocks him back 5 or 6 yards. So third and 13 now coming up, and if you are the Yellow Jackets, just get half of it back here because you obviously are going to be in 4-down territory. There's no point to kicking a field goal down 21.
Yeah, definitely the right move. Just try to pick up maybe half the yards you need and then go for the second half on 4th. No way you're punting this one, obviously. And with the score the way it is, they got to score. They got to pick up this first down at least.
I formation, Meager. And then Slocum is the ball carrier. He stutter steps back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard beyond that. We'll see where they spot it. They do get a couple back, maybe a yard and a half, so it'll be fourth down and long for Windsor. They try to get on the board here in the second quarter. It was all Woodstock in the first quarter, scoring 3 touchdowns to go up 21-0, converting a 2-point conversion, but also missing an extra point. And then the second quarter, Andrew, it's kind of felt like Windsor has had the upper hand. They've had the ball for a lot of the second quarter. So fourth down here and along 8. Richardson's going to keep it rolling out to his left. He throws to the end zone and just overthrows his receiver. Number 7, Jackson Davis, I think was the intended receiver. So they'll turn it over on downs. Woodstock will take over, leading 21-0, 6:12 to play here before halftime. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide here in Woodstock, Vermont. Wasps have just turned it, the Yellow Jackets have turned it over on downs, and the Wasps taking over here, and the quick run there from Asbury. Picking up the first down, moving the chains, and inside 6 minutes to play as we approach the halfway point of the quarter. We'll see what this quarter has in store for Woodstock. They haven't really had the ball much. We were talking about that just before the fourth down attempt. This Woodstock team controlling the first quarter, scoring all their touchdowns, and in the second quarter, Windsor really has held the ball for most of it. Handoff there, goes up the middle, and through a whole crowd is Caden White, and he is going to go and finally be tackled at the 35-yard line. And a little bit of shoving maybe there at the end, but nothing to merit a penalty flag. Refs are right there. It'll be at the 34-yard line. That's where Woodstock will set up for a first down and 10. And once again, this Woodstock team, their running backs really just dominating in this one.
Yeah, and Caden White, if you're one-on-one defender against Caden White, he's not going to run around you. He's going to run through you. Huge bruising back. Strong guy there.
White, the only man in the backfield. He'll take the handoff, and this one's wrapped up for no gain.
Cade White up the middle, tackled by Gavin Harriman. Second down and 10.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs. Check for all of our air times by clicking on schedules at ycnnow.com.
The license plate is HEF440. Your lights are on.
So it'll bring up second down and 10. Woodstock, after the big run, looking to add to their total. Handoff, nice spin move there by Marco Viteri, and he's still shedding tacklers.
Yeah, Ben Marsikovatieri, definitely a much different look from Caden White in terms of running backs. Ben already has 3 touchdowns in this game. They were all in that first quarter. It's a really nice job by Ben tonight. Spin moves, trying to break free. Ended up not losing any yards, so nice job by him.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage, which is the 24-yard line. Third down and 10. Again, the handoff goes to Marco Viteri, and he falls forward after the tackle, stretching the ball as far as he can inside the 10-yard line. First and goal. That'll be spotted at the 9-yard line. So Woodstock knocking on the door of their potentially their fourth touchdown. Lining up in that power formation with White in the backfield. Schlabach as well. And that one is an easy touchdown to White. Not really much defense there from Windsor, and the touchdown puts them up 27-0, and the late penalty flag comes out from the referee. Don't know if that was celebrating by the offense or a personal foul maybe on the defense after the play was over. So we'll see where they mark it. 27-0, Woodstock in control of this one, and we have not hit halftime yet. I believe that penalty was on the Wasps. They were talking to the Windsor coach. And it will be assessed after the kickoff. So the penalty was on Woodstock. 27-0 score. Once again, try and catch Windsor napping. They don't fall for it. So the extra point coming up here from Asbury. Try and put the Wasps up 28-0. Ball down, kick is up, and that one goes through. So another extra point tacked on to the fourth touchdown for the Wasps. 28-0. Second quarter of action, 3:29 to play. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 28-0 our score. Woodstock on top, and it's really been all Woodstock except for maybe one or two drives where Windsor did have some good field position, some good ball movement. They did get it all the way down inside the red zone, but then turned it over on downs, and that's when Woodstock took over thanks to a couple of big gains, and then Caden White with the big touchdown. And then after the touchdown, there was a penalty, so that's why Woodstock's kicking back on the 25-yard line. So maybe, Andrew, this is Windsor's chance to get some good field position. And the kick is really not that good, off the side of his foot, and that goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact on tonight's contest.
And Woodstock will re-kick.
So it looks like they will take the penalty yardage and make Woodstock re-kick. And instead of kicking from the 25, they'll move it back 5 yards, and they'll kick it from the 20. I always found it curious. They knew it was the 25. They're going back to the 20, but the ref still paces it off 5 yards.
Yeah.
That's why they painted the lines there.
That's right. And the refs wearing some kind of old school attire here tonight.
Yes.
Different look, definitely.
And the flags have been red flags, not yellow.
Yeah.
A little bit tough to pick up on TV, and we're having a tough time on some of them, but we saw one there as the ball went out of bounds right in front of our view. So here's the second attempt. And this one is not too much better. It stays in bounds, but doesn't even get to the 50-yard line. And then it'll be returned, and possession will be the Yellow Jackets at the Woodstock, maybe 40-yard line.
First down, Windsor at the Woodstock 40-yard line.
That's where Windsor will take over. Another possession here in this second quarter where they've had some success moving the ball, just not able to capitalize and punch one in. So if you're the Yellow Jackets, you need one right here going into the halftime, into the locker room. Get on the board, get your team some momentum, and see what you can do in the second half. Richardson under center, fakes the handoff, and then gives it to Slocum. Nicely done there. He sheds one defender and then carries a couple more forward for a yard or two, and that'll bring up second down and 5 yards.
Now premiering every Saturday night at 6 p.m. is Yankee Chronicle. And watch for the new Stark Reality with Keith Hansen coming up starting election night on WYCU and WYCX, focusing on issues from the right angle.
Second down and a long 4. Richardson under center. He's got Slocum, the lone man, in the backfield. Gonna drop back and pass. We've seen him throw it a couple times, and that one is almost intercepted. And that was number 1, Amato. Not able to get to that one.
I think Amato stole that interception from Jed Astbury, number 12. Jed was right there, not moving, ready to make the pick, and Amato came swarming in. Amato didn't know Astbury was there, so Amato, of course, is going to try to make the play, at least bat it down. That could have been an interception, and now third and about 4.
3rd and 4 here. Clock moving. We approach halftime, second quarter. Richardson takes the handoff. Nice little throw out in the flat, and the catch is made. First down. That one was Slocum on the first down.
Richardson to Slocum.
So moving the chains, 2:25 to go. Inside 2.5 minutes here. If you are the Yellow Jackets, keep the ball moving. Score here. Don't give Woodstock a chance to get it back before the half.
Yeah, it's really felt like the Wasps can score at will on any play, no matter where they are on the field. So if you're Windsor, you want to score here, but really you got to just maintain possession throughout the rest of this first half.
Yeah, don't want to give Woodstock the ball back with any sort of time. Richardson under center. Lone man in the backfield is Meager. Richardson's going to roll out to his right, throws it deep over everybody. It looked like maybe that was might have been, I don't know, maybe a miscommunication. He had his receiver, Jackson Davis, and Davis didn't cut to the end zone. He stood where he was, about the 10-yard line, and then the ball's well overthrown. So they'll bring up third down, but a flag on the play. Or, excuse me, it would have brought up second down. But a flag on the play, we'll see what that is.
Today's telecast is being brought to you in part by MJ Harrington, jewelers and designers in Newport, New Hampshire. And you can watch any of our local shows anytime at YCNnow.com.
So an ineligible receiver downfield, and that'll knock Windsor back 5 yards. First down and 15. We are in the second quarter, 28-0 Woodstock with the lead. Windsor looking to get on the board here before halftime. Richardson doesn't know which way to turn, and he's swallowed up by Woodstock defenders. A big loss on that one, and that'll bring up second down and very long.
That was number 56, Aura Astbury there, the senior. Nice job by Aura and a number of his linemen there, putting pressure immediately on Rylan Richardson. Last 2 plays, Richardson has been chased. He's had to make throws on the run, or obviously giving up the big sack there. Nice job by Woodstock's defense.
Yeah, Woodstock has really been able to defend that when Richardson drops back to make a longer pass. They've had those passes out in the flat and the short gains, but when he drops deep, 7-step drops, he's had some struggles, and that one is the handoff to Slocum, who's carrying a couple defenders, and it's a handful of yardage back, but not quite enough. It'll still be a 3rd and long here, as we have a timeout on the field. 51 seconds to play before halftime. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Final 51 seconds of the half. Windsor looking to get on the board here, but they're going to do that. They're going to have to convert. 3rd and long. Richardson dropping back, looking for receiver downfield, and he just looks too long, and he's wrapped up. Another loss, and that's going to bring up now 4th and long.
Aura Astbury again with the sack. Ton of pressure on Windsor's quarterback. Nice job.
28-0 here. Timeout on the field. We'll keep it here. And if you're Windsor now with a 4th and long, do you almost punt it here and just at least put Woodstock deeper territory to make sure, hey, if they're going to score on us, it's going to be 90 yards instead of what it is now, which is basically 60.
Right, I really don't think they're going to convert here. They're not going to get this first down with 42 seconds left. I think you just got to punt it. And I think Woodstock would be content to probably just kneel the ball. I mean, they could run a few plays.
I mean, hey, they've already kicked 2 onside kicks here.
Right.
You never know what this Woodstock team will do. They might, if they get the ball back, the way their offense is running, they might try it. But you're right, I would think they would just kind of kneel it down.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I'm sure Woodstock would love to run the score up in this game, losing twice to Windsor last year in overtime, the big one coming in the Division III state finals. That was a great game in frigid temperatures. Windsor with an interception in the end zone to win the title over Woodstock.
So out of the timeout, Richardson is under center, so they're going to run it, and they're going to do the fake. First, the handoff to Slocum, passing to Jackson down the field, but it's intercepted. And on the return here is Marsikova Terry, who gets it all the way back to the 45-yard line. The pass intended for Jackson Davis is intercepted, and just like that, Woodstock back in business with some time left on the clock.
Yeah, well, I thought at first it might have been better for Woodstock if Ben had just batted the ball down, but then he ran it back and got better field position. You know, if he had just batted it down, they would have taken over on the 40 or just beyond the 40. But now it looks like they'll take over near midfield.
But there's going to be a penalty flag, a block in the back. It was during the return, so it's still going to be Woodstock football. And they'll march it off from the spot of the foul. So I would imagine with only 28 seconds left and now a big penalty that brings them back to the 21-yard line, you got to imagine they might kneel it down here. Maybe try one more running play, see if you break one. Woodstock taking over, leading 28-0. It looks like they are set up to run a play with White under center. And not going to get anywhere there. Trevor White. Hand off to Caden White. And we'll see if Woodstock is content to let the clock run down and end this first half. Looks like they're in no rush to get back to the line of scrimmage as they head to the locker room, and that is going to do it for the first half here in Woodstock, Vermont, where the Wasps lead the Yellow Jackets 28-0. We'll take a break, come back with the second half of action. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist for the most complete line of energy products. And enjoy a level of superior customer and on-site service. La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion in 10 locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. My TV every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI. Watch their new season with Law & Order Criminal Intent, Chicago PD, Dateline, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort. They say we are familiar, we are warm, and we are fun. We are Sunapee. Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. And by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948, committed to crafting the finest quality jewelry for our customers.
Welcome back, second half. About to get underway. Woodstock leading Windsor 28-0. 21 points in the first quarter, adding a touchdown in the onside kick by Windsor, and Woodstock falls on that one. Windsor trying to sneak one in there to start the half, but they don't get it to go as the kick goes a little far. You got to only get it to the 50. They kicked it all the way to the 45 of Woodstock, so the Woodstock return man was right there. He got it, and it'll be first down at the 45, where Woodstock will start this second half. And the first play is run to the right side. Asbury tackled in the backfield, so a nice play there by Windsor out of the locker room. Defensive stop, second down and long.
Well, if Windsor, if they want to get back into this game, they got to get the ball back. They got to make this stop. Got to force the turnover on downs, try to get a punt, get the ball back and score. It's down 28-0 already. It's going to be tough to climb back in this one. They got to have a defensive stand.
And the handoff to Caden White, falls forward, gets back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll be third down and 10, and for the Wasps, they'd like to convert here and add to their lead as they started the first quarter strong. 3 touchdowns, only 1 in that second quarter. In Vermont, if you're up 35 points in the fourth quarter, it's running clock unless coaches agree, and we're only at 28, but the next score for Woodstock would set that in motion, possibly. The handoff up the middle. And handoff to Caden White. Another first down there, so Woodstock facing 3rd and 5, and they pick it up, first down.
Nice run there by Caden White. Barreling forward, picking up the first down, fighting for the extra yardage. Woodstock has a number of really good running backs, and they have different looks. They have White, big guy. They have Ben Marskovateri, more elusive. Asbury, Schlabach, a number of different guys.
Handoff again to White. He goes up the middle. almost to the first down marker. I think they'll spot it just a half a yard short. Second down and a yard. Woodstock coming out strong here in the second half, much like they dominated the entire first half. They are here on this drive, converting third down and continuing to pick up yardage.
The YCN scoreboard sponsor is La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Oh!
Wow, that ball was almost fumbled. But held on to by Marscovateri. Didn't get to the yardage for the first, didn't get enough yardage to the first down marker, so that'll be third down and short.
I'm sure Woodstock would go for it on fourth. They didn't get it here. But still, Windsor, if they can maybe get a sack, try to knock them back a few yards, and then it would really make this drive, could put this drive in jeopardy.
So third and short. White under center, handoff to Caden White. He goes for the easy first down and much more. Big guy, he's just jumping over defenders. Picking up yardage, another first down, and just like that, the drive that started on the 45 of Woodstock has already crossed over the 25 of the Yellow Jackets. So a good 30 yards picked up so far on this opening drive of the second half. Woodstock looking to pick up where they left off in that first half. Way under center, he gives to Asbury, who was in motion, and then he's wrapped up by a couple defenders. Loss of yard. Long yardage loss there. Almost 10 yards. Maybe 16, 17 yards on second down now. They need to pick up to get the first.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, serving brick oven pizza and much more. And hey, local sports fans, 94.5 ESPN's Brett Franklin Sports Talk Show can be seen on WYCX outside television at midnight every weekday.
And a pass to a wide open receiver, that's Asbury, and he's going to easily get into the end zone. A nice crossing pattern there, goes across the middle is Asbury. The pass from White, and the touchdown makes it 34-0. Woodstock opens the scoring here in the second half.
Yeah, big drive there by Woodstock, starting out the second half strong, just like they did the first half. I felt like if Windsor was able to make a defensive stop, they haven't done it all night, but if they were able to do it right there, could have given them some momentum. But the Wasps' offense just will not be denied.
And the extra point will be attempted. Tried to catch Windsor off guard, and they have not succeeded except for the first time, which they drew the penalty and then went for two. This time the kick is a fake. The holder gets up, he throws it, and I'm not sure if you can return that in high school. That's going to be no good, so that'll be a fumble and a missed extra point attempt, missed two-point conversion. That will be 34-0 Woodstock on top here in the second half, coming out of the gate strong. 7:56 to play here in the third quarter. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, inside 8 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Woodstock opening the scoring. Doesn't take them long on their first possession of the second half. Getting the touchdown pass. White to Asbury. The extra point no good, so 34-0 lead. And the kickoff is away. Meager. He'll return it. Has a little bit of space, but then he is taken down inside his 30-yard line, and they'll take over. A flag flies after the play. So we've had a number of flags today. going to be after the play was over, so a personal foul, just not sure on which team. It'll be against Woodstock. So the ball is spotted right now at the 28-yard line. So you add 15 to that. That's the 43-yard line in Windsor. Once again, getting some extra yardage and maybe another shot, Andrew, here. They've got a, I don't want to say short field, but starting at the 43, maybe he can string a couple plays together.
Yeah, well, we saw that one big run by Robert Slocum there in the second quarter. That set up Windsor way down the field. He got a horse collar tackle. But Windsor came up short, turned the ball over on fourth down right in front of their own end zone, or in front of Woodstock's end zone. So Windsor unsuccessful on offense, but Robert Slocum, a good running back. He can get down the field quickly.
Richardson under center, Slocum behind him. First down and 10 from the 43-yard line. And the handoff, a fake handoff, and then the handoff goes to number 42.
That's Connor Hart there, the junior. Not sure how many handoffs Hart has had tonight, but one of the first there, I believe.
He hasn't had too many, and he'll pick up a couple yards there, get it on the other side of the 45 to the 46-yard line. Maybe 3 yards picked up, second down and 7.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs and check for all of our air times by clicking on schedules at ycnnow.com.
This time the handoff goes back to Slocum. He cuts it to the outside and he stays in bounds. Pushing forward, getting to the 43-yard line, and that'll be a first down.
First down, Windsor.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Windsor, just I know they lost a ton of really good players, a ton of star players, all-state players, but they're well coached. Greg Ball has been with the squad for I believe this is his 7th season. Not quite sure about that, but these guys on this Windsor team, they have experience. They've been around. They've been on this team for a number of years, but there is a bit of a void right now.
So good pickup there. First down and 10. The fake handoff, and this one goes to Meager, who was wrapped up, but not before he falls forward for a couple yards up to the 40. That'll bring up second down and 8.
Next week, YCN Game of the Week will be traveling to Hanover, New Hampshire, as the Marauders host the undefeated Bobcats of Plymouth. This game will premiere next Saturday night at 7 p.m. on WYCU and WYCI, and at 5 p.m. on WYCX.
Woodstock leading Windsor 34-0. Midway through the third quarter, 40-yard line, second and 8 for the Yellow Jackets. Richardson with the handoff to Slocum, who looks like he might have lost his footing, but he does hold on enough for a couple more yards. Spot that one at the 37-yard line, it looks like. Maybe a third and a long 5 coming up. 4 down territory if you're the Yellow Jackets. Richardson under center. He's got Meager behind him with Slocum deep. The handoff goes to Meager, and he cuts it up the middle. A nice gain. Depends on where the spot is. Might have enough for a first down.
It's going to be close. I think he might be short.
Oh, sitting right on the 32-yard line.
Yeah, it's close. And even if they don't get it, I'm sure they'll go for it on fourth down here. Fourth and very short.
And they aren't going to measure it. They are going to say it was a first down. So, Windsor moving the ball nicely here on this drive where they have a first down and 10. But like you said, we've seen this before. They moved the ball earlier in that second quarter and then getting down to about, I think it was the 12 or 13-yard line before being pushed backwards and then turning it over on downs. But this drive started at the 28 after the kickoff, but then the 15-yard penalty immediately moved it to the 43. So technically the drive starts at the 43. So good field position to start. This handoff goes to Slocum off the left side. The flag comes out. Could have been a face mask on the tackle.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of illegal tackle that had to do with Slocum's helmet or head. Not sure what the ref saw, but he was right there.
Oh, they're going to call a holding. Okay. Yeah, that was right there, holding on the Yellow Jackets. That's going to knock them back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And that's going to bring them all the way back to the 41-yard line, where they'll be replay first down, but first and long.
Yeah, it's too bad for Windsor. Probably their best drive of the night. I know Slocum did put them down near Woodstock's end zone in that first half at one point. But Windsor picking up a number of first downs in terms of number of plays. It's been the most effective drive so far, and that penalty kills them.
So Slocum will take it off the left side, cutting back, making some nice moves here on the near sideline. And he'll get back to almost maybe to the original line of scrimmage. See where they spotted here. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 32-yard line.
Nice run by Robbie Slocum. It looked like he had nowhere to go, but he found the hole. Made a couple of jukes. Picked up a big gain. Really got those 10 yards back, basically.
Yeah, basically got it back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe second down and 11. Richardson will line up under center. Takes the handoff to two men. He drops back to throw, and then he is tackled in the backfield at the 40-yard line. Just like that, they give those yards right back.
And that is 76 Gabe Marcicovatiri. It looks like he's limping a little bit. Maybe hurt his ankle on that play or leg, but Gabe Marcicovatiri, huge play there. I think he has multiple sacks in this game now. Huge part on that defensive line for the Wasps, and he will come off just to make sure he's okay now.
So third and long, looks like they have to get to about the 21, 22-yard line. They're at the 40, so it's going to be third and long here for the Yellow Jackets. So here we go. See what type of plays Yellow Jackets can find in the back of their playbook to pick up 18 yards in 2 plays. Richardson drops back, throws a little swing pass to Meager, and he drops it. That's going to be incomplete, and that's a big fourth down coming up here. Trailing by 34 points. You're going to need to figure out how to pick up a lot of yards here, or just we'll see if they punt it away.
Yeah, 2:26 left in the third here, down, like you said, by 34. Not exactly fourth down territory. I know they're just beyond midfield, but I think you're down by this much. I think you just got to go for it. I mean,
right, you got to pull something out.
Yeah, I mean, you give the ball back to Woodstock right here. It feels like they're going to score. You just got to be aggressive, got to take some chances. It's going to be tough to convert here, but it looks like they are going for it.
Fourth and long. Richardson under center. Slocum behind him. He'll give some pass protection as Richardson rolls out to his right. He had a man who fell down, and then that was intercepted on the far side. I believe that's Amato who picked that one off and returned it all the way back, almost to the Woodstock 40-yard line.
I think the ball was intended for Jackson Davis, number 7 from Windsor. But he fell down.
Yeah.
It seemed like the ball was going to be right to him, but Charlie Amato saw that, made the play. Nice job by him.
So that's a turnover. Woodstock football. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 2:13 to play in this third quarter. Woodstock leading 34-0. Amato picking up the big interception on fourth down. And Woodstock will take over at the 39-yard line. The first play from scrimmage. Handoff falling forward is the Woodstock ball carrier, picking up a couple of yards. 2nd down and 8.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local event televised into YCN's nearly 300,000 TV households, contact us at info@ycnnow.com.
Woodstock here, 2nd down and 8. Hand off to number 17. That's Daniel Lessard, a name we haven't called much tonight. Looking to get some of the other players in. He's the junior running back, fullback. 1st down inside, or to the other side of the field, into the Windsor territory. And remember, Andrew, if they do score here on this drive, it'll be over 35-point lead. So if we get to the 4th quarter, it'll be running time.
Right. Yeah, and Daniel Lessard plays a big role on defense for Woodstock, but we saw at the Pulteney game when the Wasps were up big, Lessard got in on the action, and he was actually very effective. So another really strong running back for the Wasps.
This time White keeps it himself and then throws it out to Asbury with a screen pass. He shakes one defender but can't get to the other one. He'll lose a yard or 2. Ball will be spotted at the 49-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 11.
In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games and programs are posted for your viewing pleasure anytime at ycnnow.com.
Second down and long. Under center. White hands off to Lessard. And he gains a couple of those yards back that were lost on the screen pass. It'll be 3rd down and 9 from the 48-yard line. And that's going to do it here for the 3rd quarter of action, with Woodstock Wasps leading the Windsor Yellow Jackets 34-0 from Woodstock, Vermont. We'll come back with 4th quarter of action on the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
The YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist for the most complete line of energy products. And enjoy a level of superior customer and on-site service. La Valley and Middleton Building Supply. Home improvement and construction from concept to completion in 10 locations in Vermont and New Hampshire. My TV every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI. Watch their new season with Law & Order Criminal Intent, Chicago PD, Dateline, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort. They say we are familiar, we are warm, and we are fun. We are Sunapee. Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. And by MJ Harrington & Company, jewelers and designers since 1948, committed to crafting the finest quality jewelry for our customers.
Welcome back. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Andrew, 4th quarter about to get underway. As we talked about in the opener, Woodstock, a powerful team, a lot of running. They've thrown some passes, but most of their game has been running, and they've built up a 34-0 lead in 3 quarters of action.
Yeah, they really have a complete team, a strong offense, a good kicker, and an extremely strong defense. I think they're the D3 champion favorites to me this season.
And the handoff to Caden White out of the quarter break. Big gain there all the way to the 33-yard line of the Yellow Jackets, and a big 1st down to start the 4th quarter. A big play from Caden White.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more.
First down and 10. Woodstock continuing to be in control of this game. Never really in doubt as they scored touchdowns on their first 2 possessions pretty easily. One coming after recovering an onside kick. Never looking back, shutting out the Yellow Jackets so far through 3+ quarters of action. Second down and 9 coming up as a 1-yard gain on first down. Senior night here in Woodstock. Good crowd. Braving the temperatures, although for the time of year we have, not too cold tonight. Second down and 9. And off up the middle. About 4 or 5 defenders there to tackle Lassard, the ball carrier. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Third down here for the Wasps.
Tune in every Saturday at 9 p.m. for YCN Sports Wrap, taking a look at local high school sports in our area, followed by YCN Sports Talk, which focuses on our region's pro teams with the Salt Hill Pub NFL Picks of the Week.
So before the third down play is run, a little confusion at the line of scrimmage. The referee stepping in, starting the clock back up, and we're ready to go. 3rd and 8. Man in motion, but the handoff looks like that one is the fullback. Big gain. Halfway there, maybe picks up a few yards. 4th down and 5 yards to go. And if you're Woodstock, you might as well be going for it here.
Yeah, might as well. I've been really impressed with Woodstock's offense, but their defense even more so. Windsor has scored 158 points to this point coming into this game, and they have allowed 0.
So White under center. The pitch goes to Schlabach, and he breaks free along the left side, and he's got enough, plenty, for the first down. That'll be a first down at the 15-yard line, and Woodstock continuing to move the chains, picking up big chunks of yardage when they need it. 4th quarter of action inside, 9.5 minutes to play. If Woodstock scores here, that will kick in the running clock. Handoff up the middle. Nicely done there, and that's Lassard. He gets into the end zone, and we've called his name a few times this second half after not getting any carries in that first half. And the big touchdown run from Lassard puts Woodstock up 40-0 with the extra point coming up.
Nice run there by Lassard, getting in on the running back action now that they're up by so much. And Lassard, not a bad running back, too. You saw him broke a couple of tackles there. Strong guy. Just shows this Woodstock offense. They're so deep. If they have an injury, they can still get by it. Somebody else will step up.
And the extra point is up, and that one's good. So, touchdown and the extra point from Woodstock puts them up 41-0, 9:20 to play here in the 4th quarter. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 4th quarter of action. Woodstock going up 41-0 after the extra point is converted. They'll be kicking off. With this one well in hand. Clock will be continuing to run once we get the kickoff underway. You should only stop, obviously, timeouts, change of possessions, and I believe on injuries as well, but for the most part, clock will move. Kick is away. It's going to bounce once and go out of bounds. Woodstock's second time they've done that, where they had a bounds kickoff, and this one will be declined. They'll take the penalty and set it up where the Yellow Jackets will take over, I believe, at the 35-yard line.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact on today's contest.
So Windsor taking over, first down and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Inside 9 minutes to play. Windsor hurries to the line. Like to get some points on the board if you're the Yellow Jackets, just avoid the shutout. That handoff goes up the middle to number 7, Jackson Davis. We've seen him go out for a few passes. And if you do get on the board here, you will avoid your first shutout. Windsor shutting out a couple teams, but they have yet to be shut out themselves. So they're looking to get on the board here in the fourth quarter. Second down and 6. Second down and 7, excuse me.
It looks like Max Clifford is now behind center as quarterback, the junior for Windsor, taking over for Ryland Richardson.
Clifford under center. Jackson Davis in the backfield.
Oh.
Clifford's going to keep it. Maybe had the wrong play call there, because I think that was a broken play.
Yep.
And that is the problem. You obviously want to get them some action, but can't be having that on second down. Loses another handful of yards, and he's back to 30-yard line. So that'll be third down and 15. Third and 15 for the Yellow Jackets. Clifford again under center. Davis behind him. Meager in the offset right. Clifford keeps it. He's going to throw deep. Had a man. Just overthrows Jordan Place, the wide receiver.
Charlie O'Mata there on the defensive end in the secondary. Nice job by him. Windsor just trying to do some different things here, trying to get something going. You obviously see Clifford now at quarterback, trying to change some personnel, change the play call, and it looks like they will punt here. Deep down the field, about 4th and 14, so at this point in the game, you don't want to give up any more points, just punt this one away.
And that's what they're going to do. High snap,
man.
and it's going to be corralled, but then immediately tackled after the punter recovered the bad snap, and everything is going wrong for the Yellow Jackets. And Woodstock will take over at the 10-yard line. 6:24 to play. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Inside 6 minutes to play. Clock moving with the Wasps up 41-0 over the Yellow Jackets. They take over at the 10-yard line, and Lassard gets the handoff if you are Woodstock with the 41-point lead. Clock moving. You just keep it on the ground, I would imagine, here, and take as much time in between each play.
Yep.
You're probably going to score. I mean, even if you're not trying to score at this point, your offensive line, your running backs are just so good. You're probably going to put one in the end zone here. You don't want to be like running up the score any more than you already have with a 41-point lead. But like Bill Belichick says, if you don't want them to run up the score, then you got to stop them.
Right.
And scampering to the outside and shedding one tackler, Corey White. Then the second tackler gets him. Clock moving here. Fourth quarter. He was pushed out of bounds. Second down and goal.
And if you're Woodstock, I think they're going to try and score here on this drive, but
should be 3rd and goal, I believe.
There's a flag down in the play now. But if you're Woodstock, last year losing to Windsor twice in overtime, especially in that championship game, I don't blame the Wasps if they want to run this score up. It's got to feel good for them to finally come out on top of their rivals from Windsor.
Yeah, they'll complete the undefeated regular season, moving to 8-0 with this win. And then they'll be the #1 seed in the playoffs. Personal foul against the Yellow Jackets after the play was over. So that's going to go half the distance of the goal line. Obviously an automatic first down, but showing 2nd down, so 2nd down and goal. They should be, I would have thought if it was a personal foul, it should be 1st down. So the stick says 2nd down. I'm not sure what the scoreboard says at this point. And the run up the middle. So 3rd down. So not sure really what happened on the penalty. The referee called unsportsmanlike conduct. They moved the ball half the distance to the goal, but they didn't give him an automatic 1st down. So, and the Woodstock sideline, you could see all of them were signaling for a 1st down, but they didn't get it. So 3rd and goal. Clock moving inside 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Hand off here, and a quick little hop, and a score. Corey White. Just off tackle, hops over the defender, and hops into the end zone, putting Woodstock up 47-0. And they're not even at their top 3 or 4 most scored points of the season. They've scored 55 points, 65 points, 50 points, and 48 points. So if they can convert this extra point, it will put them at 48 points, which will be the 4th highest point total of the season for the Wasps. That just shows you how powerful this Wasps offense is. I know, Andrew, it looks maybe a little skewed because they're playing a Yellow Jackets team who's struggling to get to 500. Or they'll
right.
finish 500. But even when they played everybody, they've certainly put some points on the board. That kick is up and good. So 48-0. 2:17 to play. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Final couple minutes of action here. Woodstock leading Windsor 48-0. Like I said, this will tie for the 4th highest point total. They beat Oxbow 55-0. And this kick is short, and it is recovered by Woodstock. I believe they're signaling. So Woodstock gets it again.
Wow.
Injured player, but he'll be able to get up and walk off on his own power. So, Andrew, Woodstock taking over here. A couple minutes to go. They'll just kneel it down, I would imagine, let the clock run out, and we've got to make our selection for the award.
Right, and now it's a good time to talk about our HR Clough Kearsarge Heating, turning up the heat player of the game. I think we have to give this one to number 5, Ben Marsicovertiri, the senior running back from Woodstock. In that first quarter alone, he scored 3 touchdowns, 2 were rushing, 1 was a catch and run. Also had an interception, picked up a ton of yards on the ground tonight. Just a really solid game offensively and defensively from Ben Marsicovertiri. Congratulations to him on such a quality game and on the win tonight, beating Windsor.
And I'm sure we'll see him in the playoffs. I know you'll be covering the playoff games. We'll also see him in the basketball season. He's a basketball star, so we usually try to do 1 or 2 Woodstock games. So depending on their schedule, I'm sure we'll see them as they kneel down here to keep the clock moving. So Windsor Yellow Jackets will fall to 4-4, finish .500 on the season as the 2-time defending champs. They'll look to sneak in the playoffs and maybe make some noise. The Woodstock Wasps will finish their season 8-0, undefeated season after last year's record of 8-3. They were the number 2 seed. They lost to this Windsor team in the finals in overtime, 13-7, so they'll be looking to avenge that one. They've already avenged the regular season loss they had at the hands of Windsor. So they'll advance to 8-0, and playoffs will be starting. I believe that will be next week. Flag on the play. Not sure if there was a motion penalty. Illegal substitution on Woodstock. As the clock ticks down the final seconds, that's going to do it. From Woodstock, Vermont, the Woodstock Wasps complete the undefeated season 8-0 as they defeat the Windsor Yellow Jackets 48-0 in the final game of the regular season. Vermont High School playoff football coming up next week. And next week, Andrew and I will be in Hanover as the Marauders take on the Plymouth Bobcats in their season finale. So that's going to do it. The final score for the final time, Woodstock 48, Windsor 0. For Andrew Zerhide, I'm Jeremy Stout. Thanks for watching the YCN Game of the Week.